Hello everyone, and this is Caroline from Mind and Muse Crafts, and today I have finally begun my December or Christmas vacation, end of the semester vacation, whatever you want to call it. And so I decided to check back with you here because I know that I had spoken about trying to catch up with well, I won't be doing Vlogmas because it is already very late in December to start doing one recording every day, but I can do 12 days of Christmas with you. It was something that I began last year and was never able to complete, but you can go and see the 2 or 3 episodes that I was able to complete before my mom passed away. So I decided to give it another try this year. And I am just off from work. I just finished handing in everything that was required of me to complete my contracts. But I have for several days been thinking about this and been accumulating a little bit of video here and there, things that I can put together to kind of like make these chats interesting and not so Christmassy, maybe, in the sense I know not everybody celebrates Christmas, but I thought maybe we could just look at Christmas my way, at Christmas the way I'm going to be doing it this year, about how we're going to be doing it on this part of the world. So I have some ideas about some maybe kitchen crafting that I can do for you, or maybe even some gardening, some outside work where I can show you what types of fruits or vegetables we grow around here and how we use them. And I can also in between talk to you a little bit about whatever Christmas is going to be like this year, because it's going to be a new experience. No matter how many Christmases you have celebrated before, this year will definitely be a new experience for us, especially because of the fact that we'll be here by ourselves and we have never had a Christmas all to ourselves before. So there will be a little bit of crochet in between. For example, on this first get together, I wanted to talk to you about, give you an update on what I think is going to end up being my 12 days of Christmas crochet project, the project that I am giving an end to, which is this cardigan that you have seen before, heard about lots, and probably, or hopefully, or just maybe, with no choice whatsoever, have been following me on Instagram and have been getting the updates from there. So I've just put together a small video with all the different steps of the process and a little bit of chattiness about where I'm at right now, so that I can have a little bit of that crafty content to share with you. Back in October, Clarissa and I, after watching Rosina's version of the J.W. Anderson cardigan, we decided to follow along and take her cue and try it, give it a hand, and start to design our own cardigan, choosing the colors that we would like to see. And this sort of patchwork cardigan that is created with multiple squares that are crocheted in a continuous fashion. You don't do separate squares. Rosina did squares that were joined on the go as you made them. So choosing the colors was a bit problematic because it worked okay for like the first row. Everything went well with the design that we had chosen initially. But then as we began to complete our rows, we did notice that we kind of had to check out the original design and take it row by row. After the first row, it was just like, oh, I don't think I can follow this pattern anymore. I need to take a good look at what colors and what stitches, if I want the same stitch in the same color, if I want the same color in the same stitch every time it appears, or if I want to change my stitches. So it kind of like, after the first row, it had to go row by row. That's just the way it was going to be. But it did work up pretty quickly because of the fact that it's a little bit addictive, that doing those squares continuously, once you get the hang of it, kind of works up pretty quick. And so it wasn't long before we reached that. I believe we did 4 rows and then decided that we were going to split, whereas Rosina did 3 because she was using worsted weight we were using DK, and she was using a larger hook also. So I had 4 rows of complete black colors before I started splitting for the sleeves. Once you split and you worked on that last row, it's like a row and a half. Then you joined at the shoulders, and that was about it. You began seeing actually what this was going to look like. It began looking like something you could actually do, is all I want to say. So, once we joined well, that's the way I did. I don't know if Rosina did it that way, but I joined at the sleeve because I was dying to see the formation of this cardigan. I joined at the shoulders, and then I started the ribbing at the bottom. The ribbing is single crochet it is treble, half double crochets in the back loop only. Half double crochets in the back loop only, all the way around, and then you go up the middle to create the button band and the collar or neck band, and once that's done, then you are simply on to your sleeves. I've got a collection here of wool, acrylic, 100% wool, superwash wool, 100% acrylic, cotton acrylic, and so it was a mixture of yarns and yarn blends, and that probably was not the greatest idea because you can see how some of the squares kind of like deformed, especially if we were using the half double crochet in the back loop only. So when I got to the sleeve, I had to make another choice here. I had to decide whether I wanted 3 rows as Rosina did, or if I wanted to do 4 rows of color and a shorter cuff. So I went with the 3 rows of color and the longer cuff because I needed a longer sleeve because of the fact that I was using smaller hook size and a smaller yarn. The longer cuff I thought looked pretty nice. And with that one sleeve attached, then I was pretty much on my way to completing the cardigan. But that's still where I am at the moment. I've got one sleeve attached and one on the go, and just adding some buttons, and this will be complete. It's not as oversized as the original cardigan or even as Rosina's cardigan, but it works for me. It works for me because I'm not really an oversized person, and I made it a bit longer also because I didn't want it cropped, and I think we might have a cardigan for Christmas. Well, besides that, I could show you the following. I do remember on the last episode I talked to you about my experience making little gnome ornaments. The one that I had first made I'd given away. I made a second one here. I am just recording this on my computer camera, which has got to be the worst camera in the world because this computer is really old. But I figure, well, it's just a little chat between us. Maybe the lagging between what I say and when you hear it won't bother you so much. But anyway, this is the gnome ornament by the Loopy Lamb, I think she's called on Instagram. And she also has a site where she publishes her patterns. And this one is for free, so you can go to her site and find it for free. It is made simply with Red Heart Super Saver for the hat. And this is that fun fur yarn. Well, I'll take that back. It is a type of fun fur yarn because it is the Stylecraft version of the fun fur yarn. I don't know if you have seen it before. I'll get it for you. The only reason that I have it is because I was making a purchase on Wool Warehouse and they had a sale or something. So I ordered that. It's called Eskimo. And this one is the natural colorway. I believe I bought it in several colorways. But anyway, it's also called eyelash yarn because of the way the yarn has those little hairs that look like eyelash. So it's very similar to the one that I used before for my first gnome, but it is not the same. And so this one I just left around here, and it matches me today, right? I'm all up in green. These are earrings that I made for Clarissa, but I don't know how long ago. And I think it was for Christmas. But no particular reason except that for Christmas we like to dress up. And so I made her these earrings, and it goes with this bracelet or this. And I was very proud of this bracelet because if you'll notice, even the endings are handmade. And so I think the copper and the green. I like red for Christmas, but I really like green also. And you can also see my vintage old granny square tree that I made last year, and it is a pattern by Lisa Pine Notes. Well, that's how I know her on Instagram. So if you haven't, maybe I'll do a close-up of that tree that I will also include as part of this short video. Because as I looked through boxes in the library while trying to clean out, I found a small box of Pushpins that my daughter had gifted me quite a while back, but I had never used them because I didn't have a bulletin board back then. And they are Pushpins in the form of owls, so I thought they were a great addition to my tree. So this is it, my friends. I am going to wrap it up for today. So the lighting has totally gone. And I am now with artificial lighting, which is causing all of this shadows in the background. So I won't keep you entertained any longer. I just hope that you're a little bit motivated to share a couple of minutes with me for the next couple of days and just get to know each other in, let's say, a different sort of way. So thanks for listening, thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.